things that can go wrong are often like an error on a name, an error on a social security number, things like that. Maybe there's a form missing that the IRS can tell you need to have that form, usually related to health insurance.
Hi, I'm Bette Hochberger, CPA, CGMA. This channel aims to educate you on tax, tech, crypto, and finance related news. Come learn how to grow and keep your wealth.
Hey guys, Bette Hochberger, CPA, CGMA here. And today we're going to take a little walk through what happens when your tax return has been filed with the IRS. I'm sure many people are curious as to what actually happens, right? It feels like it goes into a black hole, and in some indeterminable number of days, you get a refund or you get that letter. It's like, you owe us $1 million, things like that. There's a process, believe it or not, there's actually a process. If you are electronically filing your tax return, which is the recommended way, it goes into the IRS's system relatively quickly. But it doesn't mean it's been fully processed. So when we electronically file a return, we get relatively soon, like usually I would say at the longest within 48 hours, often faster. It depends on the volume and the time of year and things like that. But we usually get told, like, yay, it's good, it was accepted by the IRS, or something went wrong and you need to fix it. The things that can go wrong are often like an error on a name, an error on a social security number, things like that. Maybe there's a form missing that the IRS can tell you need to have that form, usually related to health insurance. If you get those 1095A forms, something like that would cause it to get kicked out and rejected. Sometimes there's identity theft, and we'll find out, oh, somebody already filed a tax return with this social security number, and those are never fun, right? So, or sometimes you need an ID protection PIN. If we don't have that number ahead of time, it'll kick out of the system. So barring those kind of problems, once your return is accepted, then it goes through the IRS's kind of internal processing to get fully accepted into their system, right? Not just the e-file acceptance, but processed by the IRS. So the IRS is going to start looking for various kinds of errors and inconsistencies and other types of red flags for things that they need to look at. It actually goes through a couple different layers of screening with the IRS. And this process can take longer if the IRS computer system finds other errors, if they suspect identity theft that wasn't triggered by the e-file rejection, if there's some other kind of problem in there, or for whatever reason they find they need to set aside your return and look at it. And then they're going to actually do calculations, right? So you might think that you're being due a refund, and then you could get these letters in the mail that tell you there's a math error, right? Maybe there's a miscalculated tax credit or something like that. The math errors are kind of vague. They've gotten to be, I think, a bit more popular in the types of notices that people receive from the IRS in the last year or so. That can be a hold up to processing your return, or it can cause you to lose out on a refund that maybe you had coming. The other type of issue that we see from time to time that's somewhat common, it's called a CP 2000 notice. That's where there's a mismatch in the IRS system. They say, hey, we've got this 1099 from this specific company that you made $10,000 and we don't see it anywhere on your return. So we're going to tell you, you either, if you agree with us, you owe us money, or if you don't agree with us, tell us why. Perhaps you need to amend your return. There's all kinds of responses that can go along with those CP 2000 letters, but that can also hold up things like your refund. Now, if you haven't received any letters from the IRS and you're like, where's this dang refund? I've been waiting for so long. It's been weeks, right? And usually tell people, give it a couple weeks. I think the official, maybe it's not so official. I think I read somewhere that the IRS is saying it's like around 21 days turnaround time for refunds. If 3 weeks have passed, if 4 weeks have passed, and you still haven't seen your refund, there is a handy dandy little search function on the IRS's website. You don't even need to log in, I don't think, to the ID.me. I think you can just use this site. It's irs.gov/where's-my-refund. You can Google it, you can search for it. We're going to drop it in the description for the video. You should be able to find it pretty easily. And then you're going to have to put in some of your personal information like name, date of birth, social security number, when you filed, how much you think you're getting. And they'll try to find you in the system. A lot of times it works, and I'll find out for a client, oh, hey, according to this, you already got it, right? Sometimes people get these direct deposits, they don't notice. If you're waiting on a check, that can be a little hairier, right? If you electronically file and you ask for a direct deposit, it's pretty easy to track you through the IRS system and track your refund through that system. So that's it. That's kind of the process. It's not instantaneous. It's gotten faster over time. It's gotten faster post-COVID and that whole situation. Things are working a little bit better than they used to. So I don't think it's that opaque of a system anymore of what happens when things go into the IRS, but there's certainly an issue of if things don't go correctly, right? And when things don't go correctly, that's usually when you call people like us. So if you're running into a problem looking for that tax return refund, take a look at that link. Where's my refund with the IRS? If that still doesn't help you, sometimes you can log into your IRS individual account with id.me. And if you still can't get the answers you need, reach out. We help with clients with IRS issues all the time. Happy to try to help you resolve yours. And if you've ever run into any problems like this, drop a comment. We'd love to hear crazy IRS stories. I find them so entertaining. I'm sure it's not entertaining at the time when you're going through it, but at the time when it's happening or after the fact, it's a funny tale often to tell. So that's it for this video, and hopefully we'll catch you next time. Thanks.
Thank you for sticking around. I hope you learned something new. Please leave a comment, like, and subscribe to my channel if you want to continue improving your tax and financial literacy. Bye.